All right, you know what time it is. Neil Ratnar Rat Duck here with a story. So this past week, Stephen Stills celebrated his 75th birthday. And today I thought I would tell you a few things about Stephen that you might not know. But as usual, a little background first. All right. Now, Stills was born in Texas, but being from a military family, he moved a lot. And moving around exposed him to different types of music. Latin music in particular, since he lived in Costa Rica, the Panama Canal Zone, and El Salvador, which is where Stills actually graduated high school. Now, after dropping out of Louisiana University, Stephen played in a series of bands, including one with future Eagles member Don Felder. But Stills eventually ended up as part of the Agogo Singers with his future bandmate Richie Fury. Now, the Agogo Singers were the house band at the Cafe Agogo in New York City. And that's why they were called the Agogo Singers, right? Now, when the Agogo Singers broke up, Stephen went back to doing a lot of session work, which is when he got a call to audition for the Monkees. Now, according to Stills, when I auditioned for the Monkees, I sang and hung out for a while. They called me the next day to tell me that they were interested and could I come back another day. They were polite, and I sensed that they were more interested in me as a person. I was real upfront with them. I said, basically, I'm not that interested in the show, but mainly I want to write the songs because that's where the moolah is. And then I said, listen, I know another guy that's a lot like me, and he's probably a little brighter, and he might be a little bit quicker and funnier. I had that beaten into me by this guy in New York for reasons that still escape me, that I was not funny, and I should not try to be funny. And that's when I suggested Peter Tork, right? So it was Stills who suggested Peter Tork, who eventually obviously became one of the Monkees. Okay. Now I want to talk about one of my favorite songs written by Stephen Stills. I guess it was at Woodstock 69 when Sweet Judy Blue Eyes got cemented into my brain. You know, I've told the story before. Tripping on mushrooms with my buddy Bat. The Sunday afternoon thunderstorm and the exhilaration of hearing that song played over the loudspeakers when the storm had subsided and the two of us decided to get out from under our stupid piece of plastic, and the festival went on and Sunday night was amazing. But that song became, cemented into my brain. If any of you have ever experimented, you know how music under those circumstances becomes quite important, and you could never quite get that out of your brain. Okay, now, of course, the Judy is singer Judy Collins. Now, she met Stephen in 67, and they dated for 2 years. But then Judy fell in love with actor Stacy Keach while doing the New York Shakespeare Festival. Stills was devastated and didn't want to lose her, but knew the breakup was imminent. Now, according to Collins, Stephen came to where I was singing one night on the West Coast and brought his guitar to the hotel, and he sang me Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, the whole song. And then I said, oh, Stephen, it's such a beautiful song, but it's not winning me back. And it didn't. But the two remained friends, and after all these years, they, a year or so ago, maybe made an album, and they went on tour together, which I heard was great. I don't know, maybe some of you out there saw the two of them together. According to Stills, the reason they stayed friends all these years was because they married other people. Collins added, when we started rehearsing for the tour, Stephen said to me, my God, we should have done this instead of the romance. And I said, but then you wouldn't have written Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, so that wouldn't have worked. Now, a couple of more interesting tidbits. Stephen Stills plays guitar on Bill Withers' classic song, Ain't No Sunshine. Booker T produced the album, and his band, the MGs, played on it, but for some reason, guitar player Steve Cropper was unavailable. Now, the engineer on Withers' album happened to be in the middle of Stephen's album, and Stills was having an affair with Rita Coolidge, whose sister was engaged to Booker T. So there you go. Okay, and finally, many years ago, Stephen was backstage at a fundraiser with Tony Bennett. And the two got friendly and talked for about 45 minutes. And during the course of their conversation, Bennett gave Stills 2 pearls of wisdom. 1, never be afraid to lower the key. Never be afraid to lower the key. That's number 1. And number 2, never be afraid to use the teleprompter. And according to Stephen, that was the secret to a long career. I found both to be true. All right. Yeah, that's my story. So the story, I should have read it, but I didn't think about it. The story about the thunderstorm and Sweet Judy Blue Eyes and many other stories is in my book. If you want the actual hardcover, please order it from me on neilratnerrockdoc.com. There's a place that says buy the book. Or there's an audiobook available where I do all kinds of voices, and it's kind of a kick, and that's on Audible, ebook on Amazon. Podcasts, new podcasts will be coming in the new year. Not sure exactly who my first guest will be, but I'll keep you posted. But the 6 from last year are still posted, with the one with Putty and the stories about the Pink Floyd pinned to the top of my page. Don't forget the playlist. When you guys hit 100 shares on any of my posts, it goes on to Rock Doc's Medicine Cabinet on Spotify. There's almost a full day's worth of classic rock for you there. So you got the book, the podcast. I'm on DST and iHeartRadio today at 3 o'clock. Got a good story about Jeff Lynne from ELO and the Traveling Wilburys. And, keep visiting me on Facebook. I really appreciate it. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy and a healthy New Year. And let's rock out into the new year and continue doing all these good things. All right. That's it for today. This is Neil Ratner Rock Doc. And you know what I say. Keep on rocking. All right. Bye now.